Now coming to our next class, that is, I have already discussed that if y is an nth degree polynomial, then delta ny is equal to this. That is, if y is a nth degree polynomial, then its nth difference is constant. And what is the expression? That is a h to the power n factorial n. Okay, where h is the common difference and n is the degree of the polynomial, and a is the first term of the polynomial. First term, not the first term, highest degree term of the polynomial. Highest degree term in the polynomial. Highest degree constant term. Okay, constant term in the polynomial. Okay, now just consider an example. So that is, now using this result I am going to discuss an example, that is evaluate delta cube 1 minus x, 1 minus 2x, 1 minus 3x. That is, you have to evaluate the third difference of this function. Okay, so this function is given in the factorized form. So I can expand the factorized form like this. So you can write y is equal to, so you have to find delta cube y. Okay, so this is, if you want to expand, 1 minus 2x minus x plus 2x square, then 1 minus 3x. So therefore 1 minus 3x plus 2x square into 1 minus 3x, therefore 1 minus 3x, 1 minus 3x, then minus 3x plus 9x square, then 2x square, then minus 6x cube. So you will get minus 6x cube plus 11x square minus 6x plus 1. Okay, so you have to evaluate this expression where h is equal to 1. This is given in the problem. Okay, so the common difference is h and the h is equal to 1. This is given in the problem. Okay, so you have to evaluate the third degree difference of this term, of this expression. Okay, so this expression can be expanded like this. Okay, actually this is in the this was given in the factorized form. So this is the expansion of this factorized form. Okay, so clearly this is a third degree polynomial like this. So this was in nth degree and this is a third degree polynomial. Okay, so here n is equal to 3. And you have to find out the third degree difference. So the degree of the polynomial and the degree of the difference, that is same. So the third degree difference will be constant. Okay, so it is very easy. So you don't need to find out for every term. Okay, so using this result you can easily evaluate the third degree difference of this third degree polynomial. Okay, so n is equal to 3, a is equal to minus 6. So I am writing here, that is n is equal to 3, a is equal to minus 6, right? A is equal to minus 6, and it is already given that h is equal to 1. It is given to you. So what would be the third degree difference? So delta cube y. So what would be the third degree difference of this polynomial? That will be, according to this result, that will be a, that is minus 6, then h to the power n. So here n is 3, so 1 to the power cube, and then factorial n. So n is factorial 3. So minus 6, 1, and factorial 3 means 6, because factorial 3 means 1 into 2 into 3, and that is 6. So this is 36. So this is the result. So using this result, you can easily evaluate this kind of expression. Okay. So what I have done, so I have just used the result, that is, if y is a nth degree polynomial, then its nth difference is a constant, and this is the expression of this constant term, that is a h to the power n into factorial n. Okay. Where so for this problem, so this is the factorized form. Okay. So I can expand this factorized form like this. So it shows that the degree of the polynomial is 3, obviously this is the highest degree, a is minus 6, h is 1, it is already given to you. So the highest degree, the third degree difference of this term will be a into h to the power n into factorial n, and this will give you minus 36. So this kind of exercise is very much important for your exam also. Now I am moving to the next exercise. That is, evaluate delta n e to the power x plus b, okay, where the finite difference h is equal to 1. So you have to evaluate the nth difference of this function. Okay. So what will be the solution? So y is equal to e to the power x plus b, right? So you have to evaluate delta n y. Okay. So for the nth degree difference, first you have to compute the first order difference and then second order difference. Then you can follow the pattern, that is how the expression is going on. Okay. Then you can easily find out the nth degree, because at first time the nth degree difference, to find out the nth degree difference is not possible. Okay. For which you have to first find out the first degree difference, that is, you have to first find out delta e to the power ax plus b. Okay, you have to first find out this one. So here y is equal to f of x equal to e to the power x plus b. So what will be f of x plus h? So there will be x plus h in the place of x plus h plus b. But here h is 1, so you can write e to the power x plus 1 plus b, because h is 1, it is given. Okay. So now what is delta y? Delta y is equal to f of x plus h minus f of x. So that shows that e to the power this plus 1 minus e to the power x plus b. Now clearly here e to the power x plus b plus a, and here it will be e to the power x plus b. So e to the power x plus b is the common portion. So you can take the common, so you will get e to the power a minus 1. So this is the first order. So you have to find out the nth order. So just you have to compute the second order, because to know the pattern of the difference. Okay. So delta square y. Delta square y means delta of delta y, that means delta of f of x plus h minus f of x. Okay. So therefore so you can write it as like that, that is delta of e to the power x plus b into e to the power a minus 1. Okay. So here also this plus h minus this term Okay, so you can write e to the power, here h is 1, so x plus 1 plus b into e to the power a minus 1 minus e to the power x plus b into e to the power a minus 1. Okay, so here already e to the power a minus 1, e to the power a minus 1 is the common portion, and here e to the power ax plus a plus b minus e to the power ax plus b. Okay, now I am moving here, so therefore e to the power a minus 1 is the common portion, and here you can also take the common e to the power x plus b. So e to the power x plus b can be taken as common, then the remaining part is e to the power a minus 1. So therefore e to the power x plus b e to the power a minus 1 whole square. So this is the expression for second order. This is the expression for first order. So you have already known the pattern of this expression. Okay, when it is delta y, it is e to the power a minus 1. When it is delta square y, then it is e to the power a minus 1 whole square, and this part is the same. So continuing like this, you will get delta n. So what will be the delta n y? That this portion will be the same, so therefore e to the power x plus b will be same, and this portion, the power of this portion differs, that is whenever delta y, it is the power of this is 1, whenever delta square y, the power of this is 2, so delta n y, the power of h is n. So this is the okay. So now, so you have already known about the finite difference operator. Okay, now you have already got the idea about it. Okay, now next, so I am going to just remove it. Next I am going to introduce a new kind of operator. It is called the shift operator. Okay, so you have already got the idea about difference operator. So difference operator is delta. Now next, another operator is shift operator. So the function of this shift operator is hidden in this name. Okay, the shift operator is denoted by E. So the shift operator, the function of this shift operator will be just shifting the function to a forward step. So actually there are two kind of shift operator, that is one is forward shifting and another is for backward shifting. So shift operator, whenever shift operator is applied on f of x, it will move f of x to f of x plus h. Okay, so if there is f of x and you apply shift operator on this f of x, then it will move to f of x plus h. So shift operator just shifts the function from f of x to f of x plus h, right? And there is another shift operator, it is called the inverse shift operator, that is the backward shiftment, that is it will move f of x to f of x minus h. This is for E inverse. So whenever you will apply E on f of x, you will get f of x plus a, and when you apply E inverse on f of x, you will get f of x minus h. Okay, so these are just the function of shift operator. This is called shift operator and this is called inverse shift operator, and this just moving backward the function, and this help you to moving forward the function. Okay, so there is a now relation. So relation between delta and E. This relation is very important. So whenever delta is applied on f of x, you will get f of x plus h minus f of x, the difference. And whenever the shift operator is applied on f of x, you will get f of x plus h. Okay. So now delta f of x is actually f of x plus h minus f of x. So in the place of f of x plus h, you can write E of f of x. Okay. So therefore E of f of x equal to delta f of x minus plus f of x. I am just taking f of x here. Okay. So you will get E f of x equal to delta plus 1 f of x. Okay. So you can now just ignore f of x from both the sides and you will get E is equal to 1 plus delta. This relation is very important for solving problems. Okay. So this is the relation between E and delta. Okay. And again if you just moving like this, you will get E square is equal to 1 plus delta square and suppose e to the power n is equal to 1 plus delta to the power n. You will get like this. Okay. Now what is the properties? So properties of the operator delta and the shift operator E. Okay. So the properties actually so both the operators delta and E have the following properties. That is, number 1 is distributive, number 2 is commutative, and number 3 is index law. So what is the distributive property? That is, whenever delta is applied on the summation of the function, that is f of x plus g of x plus h of x plus, suppose there are many functions in the summation form, then delta can be distributed beautifully on each of the function. Okay. So this is the distributive property, and it is also similar for the shift operator. That is, if we consider the summation of the function like this and you apply the shift operator on this summation, then this shift operator distributed beautifully on each of the function. So this is called the distributive property. The second portion is the commutative property. That is, whenever delta is applied on a function multiplied by a constant, then this constant can be easily came out and the operator will be applied only on the function. And it is also similar for the shift operator. That is, if the shift operator applied on the function multiplied by a constant, then this constant can be came out and E f of x. Okay. So this is the commutative property. And the third one is the index law. So what is the index law? So if delta p delta to the power q, this is applied on f of x, then you can easily make a summation of this power, and then this difference operator can be applied on f of x and the result will be same. And it is similarly for the shift operator. That is, if the two shift operators of different powers are applied on f of x, then its power can be added and then it's together applied on f of x. Okay, so both the operator satisfies the distributive law, the commutative law and the index law. The distributive law, the commutative law and the index law. Okay, now I am going to discuss a very important problem. This problem is really very important because it has already in your past exam papers. Achha. So just remember that E is equal to 1 plus delta. Okay. Now prove that e to the power x equal to delta square by e to the power x e to the power x into delta square e to the power x. Okay. So this operator is applied from on e to the power x and it is multiplied to this portion, okay, to this rational form. So this is a proof. So this is a LHS RHS proof. So you have to start with from any of the sides. So clearly we will start from the right hand side because there is only a single term in the left hand side. So from right hand side, delta square by e to the power x into e to the power x delta square e to the power x. Okay, so this is the right hand side. Now delta square e to the power x means delta square e can be taken as the inverse. Okay, it is in the denominator. Now I can take it to the numerator. So e will be e inverse e to the power x. So delta square, so whenever e inverse is applied on e to the power x, then it will move backward. So if it is e to the power x, this will e to the power x plus h whenever e is applied, and whenever e inverse is applied, so it will come to e to the power x minus h. So therefore you will get e to the power x minus h. Okay. So therefore delta square e to the power x into e to the power minus h. So this term is constant. So this term came out using the index law. So you will left with delta square e to the power x. Okay. So now delta square e to the power x, e to the power x, delta square e to the power x can be transformed into, so this portion can be replaced by this one. So e to the power minus h delta square e to the power x, here e to the power x divided by delta square e to the power x. Now this delta square e to the power x can be easily cancelled out. So you have e to the power minus h e to the power x. Now whenever e is applied on e to the power x, so it will make a forward move. So therefore e to the power x will be converted to e to the power x plus h. Okay. So therefore e to the power minus h plus x plus e to the plus h. So this minus h minus plus h cancelled out, and you will, the remaining term will be e to the power x, and this is the left hand side and this is proved. Okay. So the problem was like that. I have started from the right hand side. Okay. So this right hand side I have first compute this portion. So I have first computed this portion. So therefore delta square by e to the power x. So this by e can be converted to e inverse, and therefore e to the power x minus h, and this portion is the constant. So this came out, and therefore delta square e to the power x. Now this portion is replaced by this expression, and this delta square e to the power x and this delta square e to the power x are cancelled out, and therefore we are left with only this portion. Okay, and whenever e is applied on e to the power x, therefore you will get e to the power x plus e, and therefore finally e to the power x, and this is the left hand side. Hope you will understand this. Now next, I am going to discuss another problem like this. Okay. So now I am removing this one. Now this type of problem, suppose evaluate delta square by E x cube taking the common difference h as 1. Okay. So what will be the solution? So delta square by E x cube. So you can write E is equal to 1 plus delta. So delta is equal to E minus 1. So you can write it as E minus 1 whole square by E x cube, and therefore E square minus 2E plus 1 by E of x cube, and therefore if you divide the numerator by this denominator, you will get like this. Okay, x cube. So you will get ex cube minus 2x cube plus E inverse x cube. Okay, so ex cube means it will shifted to x plus h. So x plus h whole cube, this is 2x cube, and this will shifted to x minus h, moving backward, x minus h to x cube, because this is the x. If you apply E on x, it will give you x plus h, and if you apply E inverse, it will give you x minus h. Okay, so now I am just, so here h is equal to 1, so you can write x plus 1 whole cube minus 2x cube, x minus 1 whole cube. Now just the a plus b whole cube formula, that is x cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 1 for this term, then minus 2x cube, and for this term x square x cube minus 3x square plus 3x minus 1. Okay, now 3x square has been cancelled out, 1 has been cancelled out, and x cube minus 2x cube has been cancelled out. Then we are left with this term only. Okay, so if we evaluate this, so therefore delta square E x cube will be 6x. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, so hope you have understood the problem and hope you have enjoyed the class. Thank you so much. Then we will discuss our more topics in our next classes. Okay, thank you once again.